Hey,
It look like we got a whole team behind. I'm about to go live.
do it.
We got a team behind us.
Do it.
Right. You can hear our beautiful voices.
No, you can't leave.
That means we are live. So share this link.
We are live.
I thought you. Yeah, we are ready. Can we maybe get just a little bit of this monitor? Just a little bit. Just turn it up a little bit.
I wanna know.
So again, guys, share the link.
Share the link with your
My name is JD. I'm here.
I wanna know.
Kai singing random songs as usual. I wanna know.
I wanna.
I gotta hear it.
I wanna.
What's your favorite Keith Sweat song?
Oh, dang.
That's hard, huh?
It's hard. I like nobody's great.
Yeah,
Classic. Nobody.
I liked it. I never really loved that one.
I do like you got me twisted over you.
It's got to be one of the slow ones.
That's a song.
I gotta listen to it.
Me right here, baby.
Your Keith Sweat voice is hilarious.
Why it's not popping up yet for me?
I have it right here.
You have it? Can you send it to me? Oh, there we go. Boom, we in there. Ooh. Sorry, y'all.
Foul.
Sorry, y'all.
We are live, people. Share this with a friend. That's what we're doing. That's what you should be doing.
Amen.
Always what we should do. I'm gonna make a post with it. All right, we're gonna tell you, Fuel. Give us a second. Damn.
Fuel is trying.
Fuel is anxious. Fuel is ready.
Goodness gracious.
Fuel loves our show. We live. All right, sorry. When you write a title and you say it out loud.
Right.
Fuel, go ahead. Put us on, man. Look, Fuel.
No,
Fuel is excited. It's on me. We can put it on me.
No.
Well, Kai's not ready.
I'm gonna be ready in 2 seconds.
But Fuel's excited.
Guys, you see this?
That may have been a little too loud. Because I want to be able to hear it. We're going no headphones. Because Kai didn't want to mess up her hair. So, But anyway, listen. So let's move forward. We got a great show for you guys. We're talking about a few different things, right? And it's all based around controlling your mind and controlling your emotions. And we're gonna go through a few things like jealousy, like fear, lust. All of these things can play in your brain and create little stories that will drive you crazy. And you have to control it.
Amen. Control.
Control. Are we ready, Kai?
Yes, I'm ready. What's up, y'all? It's Kai. Are you on me? You're not on me. Okay. Right. What's up, everybody? My name is Kai, and this is the JD and Kai Show. Yeah, you hear me? We're good.
That was our intro music.
That was our intro song.
Right? We get just like we got the sound. We need an intro song. Intro everything.
If there's anybody out there listening that likes to produce music, hey, hit us up.
Right?
Send us a beat.
Right? And later I'm gonna zoom in on those eyes because that's how she gets you. That's how she gets you with them joints. But listen, I have another announcement. I'm wearing this shirt in honor of my favorite El Salvadorian resident that is coming to visit. That's my mother-in-law. And she's the sweetest woman ever.
Yay!
She bought me this shirt. It's a little small, but it's you still gotta wear it.
It's snug.
That's man stuff. You wear an ugly shirt. Right. This is too small, but it's not ugly, but
it's tailored.
Right? It's tailored. It's nice.
European style.
Right. And so shout out my little Himalita. She will be here soon. And I'm very excited about it. I never loved a little human so fast. Like literally when I first met her, like she's just the sweetest little lady. She's spunky. She has a cute little style. You could take her to Ross for an hour, like for hours. Like literally, I drop her off at Ross at 1:00. She says, "Pick me up at 5."
Oh my god!
And she's just in Ross, right? And
That's great.
she's just a sweet lady, and
That's amazing.
She stays in the kitchen. You just want her to sit down, like just sit down. You clean that twice.
Sounds like a Latin woman,
right? And she's just such a lovable person. So I'm excited to have her. She's gonna be here for a month, and we have an in-home babysitter. So we're gonna be in these streets. Me and Anna gonna be in these streets.
Watch out. JD and Anna are coming.
We coming. We're gonna be in our 1989 outfits. We're gonna be out there shining. Like looking pretty. I used to kill him on this one, baby. I used to kill him in this.
The streets, watch out.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. But anyway, So I didn't clear this with Kai, so I don't know. But we almost didn't have a show 9, y'all. Like, listen, we were trying to figure out the thumbnail on our Facebook,
Oh yes,
and it was such a struggle because we were saying different things. She's like,
Jesus
put the rectangle
Christ.
in the square, make the square, and like
I legit caught like a brain aneurysm,
right?
a slight brain aneurysm. I was like, yo, what
Yo,
is
what?
wrong? Like,
Why?
I'm like, how am I not? Am I crazy?
Right, exactly.
Am I not communicating properly?
And the only reason I bring it up is because we made it past it, and I think
Yes.
that was a great moment in any relationship, friendship. I
We
put
have like
everything.
a friendship. Like this
right,
this is like
right.
a relationship.
But
y'all.
I put everything in a relationship. Every friendship, every person you date, it's a relationship.
Yeah.
And I think in relationships you get to that moment where you miscommunicate. And in that moment, you decide, I don't really like you.
Right.
And so,
or you're annoying me right now.
Right now. And we made it through that. And I think that's a step in any friendship. And we
high five.
And we've remained respectful, even though we were like, if you say square one more time, say square one more time, I'm gonna slap somebody from New York right now.
Right.
Like,
and I was like, yo, if you don't understand
what a square is
and that is not a rectangle, yo, I swear to God.
So anyway, I thought that was a beautiful moment. But if you don't know, when you post on IG, there's a little the little thumbnail thing is a certain size that's different. So we were just trying to figure out how to make that work.
But you did it.
And we did it. So we came through it, and thank you for making it through that.
Yes. We're better
shared,
for it now.
Yeah, we shared a mutual respect. And that was good because we almost killed each other.
Yeah.
So, like,
in the nice, calmest way. Too.
Right. It was like,
no, JD,
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you say. I got that. But this is what I'm saying. Right. Like, so
I'm internalizing what you said, and I'm receiving what you said. But this is hell no.
Exactly.
But it was cool because all the stuff we talk about and preach about and just discuss about, we are living it, and it's like I'm sure couple years from now, it wasn't a win.
It wasn't a win. We like literally. I had to look up. I should have done what I do with my clients and just go like, yeah, and then I go research. But I actually wasn't sure what you were saying exactly. So I was really trying to understand. So I ended up just watching a video. We were just saying two different things. There was no right or no wrong. It was just we were just missing each other.
Ultimately, it was what we were both saying.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we got there.
Right.
But eventually we got on the same page.
Right.
And yeah, it's just, again, not everyone, and I'm sure everyone's been in situations where you have conflict. Right. And there's that moment where you're like, yo, F this.
Right.
Screw this. I hate it. Blah, blah. And you can just flip the table over and say, I hate this. Right. But, so kudos, I guess, to us to like really, like I said, the stuff we talk about, we really live this. We really do, believe in this type of communication and being respectful and considerate of the other person and really trying to understand and listen to understand, not listen to react. So this was a huge example of that. And I'm listening not to react to Fuel's chewing. Because that joint
Fuel
crazy
is over here
there.
murderfying these chips.
Chewing.
And he doesn't even realize that he is interrupting the show right now. Like,
right. We're over here having a beautiful moment. And y'all hear
and he crunch. Like I had to let him recognize that I was looking at him. Anyway, let's move on. But that brings up why we actually are kind of talking about some of the things we talk about, and it's really just having that control of your emotions. And sometimes you do have to realize like, oh, I can't communicate with this person. Right. I got to separate.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's why I thought it was a good moment to point out, because it happens. Like it gets in your head. Right now, as we speak, one of our topics that I put down is the verses between Keith Sweat and Bobby Brown is going down right now, but you can't watch because you're watching us.
Wait, I can watch it for y'all.
But the question was, is that even a good battle? Like, I feel like they're so different. And and there are a few Keith Sweat songs that I kind of forgot about. They were a little faster, but it's like.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna see let's see what's happening right now. Let's see what's happening. Hopefully something cool.
Yeah, let's see. Who would you choose on that though? I think I gotta go.
I'm Bobby. Can you hear this? Can you guys hear this?
Probably terrible, but yeah, I'm sweating out like all the alcohol I had last night.
Okay.
Yeah, that was unnecessary. Oh yeah, I know that joke. So I think, but this is why I think they're different, right? I would choose Keith Sweat, obviously, on a whole different way that I would choose Bobby Brown. Like Bobby Brown, I feel like is fun. Like I feel like I would listen to his music to feel good or clean or dance around the house.
Right.
And Keith Sweat, I would put on to kind of chill or like to have a nightcap or something like that. So I wouldn't even
Bobby Brown or Marion.
I wouldn't even choose.
I put Bobby Brown and Teddy Riley. Maybe.
I was gonna say Bobby Brown and like R. Kelly, maybe. I don't know.
Hey, you watch your mouth.
Listen,
Keith Sweat,
that's what I
Keith
said.
Sweat and R.
That's
Kelly.
what I meant. I'm sorry. That's what I meant. Keith Sweat and R. Kelly.
Shout out to my mom and dad, of course. You know, they be watching.
Welcome.
They gave a little shout out. They always do. But yeah, no, I think man, it's an interesting matchup.
Right.
I think they did it a little close because of the S. I do like what Versus is doing, and it's like really becoming a staple of the culture.
Right. I just haven't bought into it yet.
I really liked, like, did y'all see? Well, I didn't like the Bow Wow and what is it, Bow Wow and what's it called?
Mm-hmm.
And Soulja Boy.
Yeah, and Soulja Boy.
You know what's funny? So being on tour with them on the Millennium Tour last year, Bow Wow was a headliner and Soulja Boy was like the second, third act.
Wow.
From the opening.
What does that say? Look, almost is a Soulja Boy fan, but like. But I pointed out the Soulja Boy kind of sunned a lot of this whole generation. Like just the way that they listen to music, the way that they dance, like the way that they move. But he's not like I can't say a lyric of Soulja Boy. I just know a bunch of choruses.
Oh no, that's
hop up out the bed, turn your
chorus.
On,
that's a chorus.
Take a look in the mirror. What you say? Okay.
That's a chorus.
That's it.
That's all I'm saying.
Like I feel like
give
he
me
was
one
one
bar.
of those.
Give me one bar. In the comments, one bar. If you know one bar
one for
of
you
Soulja
right
Boy. That's
I'm
not a chorus.
Dog. Bitch, I'm the truth. Ride through the hood, throwing money out the roof. And everybody saying Soulja Boy got the juice, but the real shit is, bitch, the nigga is the truth. And the real kick is, bitch, that shit
So
got
we have
bars.
one
9-6
person
come on now.
that knows,
But he was aimed toward my demographic is all I'm
saying.
He was.
You got some bars.
He was a little.
So yeah. So anyway, I didn't see that one, but again, I'm not really so much into it yet. I think I would have went with Soulja just because of kind of what I think he brought to the industry and like his body of work.
Yeah, but Bow
makes me
Wow,
more excited.
Yeah. Yes. Right. I will say though, Bow Wow, he got some joints.
No hate. I'm saying that's what I would choose.
Him and I are the same age, and I remember when I was coming up and he was like a young artist, and we were like. We grew up with like him and Omarion,
right,
and
I missed
B2K.
all that.
They were all like around the same age.
group, I recently just kind of gave in, like, all right, Omarion's kind of nice, like
because shout out to Omarion,
right?
Boss man.
But he's young, like he was always like the young boy, like it was
he's
almost
a grown
like
ass man now.
Now, yes, I'm just saying now, but like from my generation, he came up like he was that's immature, isn't that right? Like so. And so it was hard for me to like him because it felt like I was a kid.
Got it.
And now he's a little bit more mature, and I'm like, all right, I see what you. And even I go back to some of his old ones, like Icebox, like those were kind of joints, like
yeah.
So I was like, shout out to Marion. All right, he doing his thing.
Yeah,
all right. I can't hate because he's young. So anyway, other things in the news.
Yes.
Bill Cosby
out of jail.
Out of jail. He free. How y'all feel about it? Put that in the comments. I would listen. On the fact of justice and the reason that he supposedly got out, because it was obviously he gave a testimony that was supposed to be, he wasn't supposed to be used in court. That's really why he got out. It's not because of anything else.
Right. On
that fact, I'm glad, he's out. But that is kind of shitty for the victims. Yeah. Right. In a sense. And like, I don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah, that's a weird one too. I feel like it's conflicting in the sense of, only in the sense of like we have this mental image of who Bill Cosby was,
right?
You know what I mean?
Which and then grew up on,
right? We all grew up on and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, whether he's in jail or not, I'll say that I believe if he did these things and that's on his conscience and that's on his spirit, and he'll have to answer for that at one point in his life or death. You know what I mean? Whatever you believe, that's how I kind of believe with these things, and I hope that. I have not been a victim of sexual abuse, and I don't know what that feels like, but I would hope that that's something that can give all of us some sort of solace in knowing that when people do us wrong, they'll see that's their karma. They will see that.
Do you think? I mean, it's going to be kind of a rough question, but do you think that the fact that they even spoke up and people know what he did is it good enough, or do you have to see him rot in jail forever? What do you like? Because I would like to think like his character's already kind of destroyed, right? From just being accused, and like I mean, he was obviously convicted.
That's a hard one. That's a hard one because I think of like situations like that, and when it's personal to you, it takes on a whole different energy. You know what I mean? Like there was someone in my family that was murdered, and knowing that her murderer was in jail gave us at least a bit of peace, knowing that he was not just out free living life. You know what I mean? And it's a weird thing. Again, it's hard, and I don't think and I don't think I can really tell anyone how to feel or how to cope. Right. Everyone has to do that on their own.
Yeah, I guess I was just asking a personal opinion. I don't know how I would feel. Yeah. I think I'm of the mindset of I would want to do it myself. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I think I would feel upset if he was out.
Right.
So yeah. For that, my heart goes out to the women. Does anybody know about the case? Like, did he like literally assault someone, or did he, or was it just the drinks, or was it just the sprinkling something in the drinks? Like they just relax a little bit.
He gave the girl drugs or whatever, and they was basically settling it out during that civil suit. But it was not. It was supposed to be closed record. It wasn't supposed to be
right. Because I guess the question is like, because I just try to think like.
So I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
I think out of ignorance, like, could it be a situation where you just think, I'm just trying to relax you a little bit, just relax, like, or was it really like he sprinkled in a drink and then like sexually assaulted everybody, or was it just?
It's possible.
I just don't know the whole story. I'm asking.
I don't know. I don't know the whole story. I'm gonna do a little more research. We're gonna do some research. Come back next week with that. But at the end of the day, it's so difficult. I'm sure to figure that out and to reconcile that, and to as women or people that when you speak out about abuse, again, I have not experienced that, but I can only imagine what that mentally. People don't believe you, especially against someone like this that's so lovable and this and that.
Right.
And I will also say, what I will say is that being in the industry, I've seen people that I respected and like grew up like loving and all this stuff turn out to be like
assholes
because
they're just regular people,
right? Or there's just people that I found out were amazing people, and I'm like, oh my god, thank you for living up to my expectations of who you are as a human. But then there's some people that you meet and you're just like, oh.
And that's why I don't really put much value in it. And the camera ain't gonna change because Fiola's over here fighting with stuff. Yeah. Listen. Anyway, our production team over here is on some. They own some shit today. But first, Fuel is over here crunching on Tostitos. I can't even get the camera to switch to me.
Right, he's the voice of God, y'all. He is the voice.
Anyway,
of God. Wait, you talk and I'm gonna be you.
Yeah, okay. Here we go. So next criminal we're gonna talk about is Derek Chauvin, who just got sentenced to 22 and a half years, which is basically 13 years. How do you feel about that? How you gonna answer? You can answer yourself.
Okay, so I feel like same. I feel like it's kind of a similar thing where it's like, at least is that sound?
Yeah,
gonna be messing with us.
Is that gonna be too loud in our sound? Sorry, guys. We
ding,
it's been one of them days.
Yeah, we good with that. All right.
Right. All right.
No, we're saying so. The I think it's accountability, not justice.
Yeah. I didn't feel horrible about. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Right now, when you think about, he's only going to probably serve half of that. Like, still 13 years. I think it's still okay. Like, I'm not expecting him to rot in jail. Like,
I think that's really what it is. I think because honestly, justice would look a little different if we're talking about like true justice, might look a little different.
Right.
But it's like, again, we're humans, and I honestly do believe that we all have to kind of see. We'll get our consequences. We'll get our just. So
you think God is going to do it?
I do.
Yeah.
I do believe whether you believe in God, the universe, or karma, or however you believe in that. I really do strongly believe that what we do we pay for in this life or the next. So I'm sure he'll.
Yeah, I can't say I really subscribe to that, but I do hear you, and I guess I have a little bit of a belief of that, but I also just
So what
kind
do you
of
believe?
I believe in justice, right? Like I want to see it now. I think there are a lot of people who have lived and died, and like we don't get to see. Honestly, at the end of the day, unless it's someone in my family, like I'm not the judge. I can't judge what should happen to you. However, in the justice system that we have, I want that to work.
Right.
So I can see it, but if that doesn't work,
well,
then,
that's what I'm saying. So who's to say that 22 and a half years is what he should have gotten for killing a man?
That's why I said for me, I didn't feel like, because I've seen people get less time for murder. I've seen people get more time for like weed. Right. So it's like I don't even know where the boundaries are anymore. Like, but I feel like if I heard 22 years without thinking about he's only going to serve half of that, because that's just how it works. Then I felt like, okay, he got justice. He's going to be in jail. Like that's a long 13 years. Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not easy. Yeah. So, and considering he's a cop, hopefully they don't put him in some,
Yeah, and I'm sure there's deeper ramifications for him at some point with all this going on.
But also, he is probably going to get more because he has another federal case pending. So the feds may give him more because I think he assaulted, I think I have it written down. Yeah, he assaulted a 14-year-old with a flashlight. So that's also coming. So I think he's going to get more. So yeah, all that to say, I think justice was served. What do you think? Tell us in the comments. Nick is in the building. Do we think Derek Chauvin got enough time? Do you think it's justice? Let us know in the comments, and let's move forward.
Yes. Okay, I have one. Mia or Maya Ponsetto, the Soho Karen,
right?
The phone incident in December 2020. She attacked a 14-year-old boy, Kenyon Harold Jr., at the hotel after falsely claiming he stole her iPhone. Remember
I think
her?
I saw that one. Yeah.
She has been charged.
Oh, for doing that?
And she's been charged with a couple charges, and 2 of them being hate crimes. So
that's dope.
Again, we're taking strides. It's like little steps to accountability and then justice. And I think hopefully within our lifetime or the next generation, we'll be able to start seeing more of an equal playing field for everybody.
And I don't think it's cancel culture. Everybody's calling it kind of this cancel culture, but it's really just holding everybody accountable. Like you have to think about what you say. Like I think for a long time, if you were, say, white America, like, you could kind of be insensitive and it's okay.
Right.
And I think that's kind of what we're seeing the repercussions of. Not to say that I think we should just be canceling people, but it brings awareness to watch what you say.
Right.
You could be hurting someone. You could be offending someone. So I don't like to call it cancel culture. I like that people's voices are heard, and
accountability.
Be
accountability and giving everyone again that equality, or just that being able to hear everyone's voice. Because for so long, a lot of voices were suppressed, and a lot of people didn't feel open to speaking up. Right. So now it's like, now that everyone can kind of speak up, everyone is speaking up about every little thing, which can be a little daunting and a little crazy. Right? Yeah. But you know what? It's also like it has to happen. It's part of the process so that everyone can kind of find this. Yeah. The dust can settle, and maybe we can hopefully all have
So I think we're heading in the right direction. So, but yeah, let's get into this mind control. Yes. Not the real mind control. It's just controlling your own mind, controlling your emotions. One of my favorite statements to say in this realm is get out your feelings. Shout out Louisiana. If you're from Louisiana, you know what that is. That boot is get out your feelings. Like just meaning step out of your feelings. Like whatever you're like hurting about, just figure it out. Let's fix it. Let's move forward. Get out of it. Like it's easy to stay trapped in a feeling. We're like, even kind of with, I can't take you to the conversation we just had with Almost, but even with pains,
the way he's just
even with pains and traumas, like you have to be able to move past it. Like there's a part of you that wants to stay in it so you can share it with somebody and like, oh, this happened to me, and I think it's okay to have that voice, but you also have to mentally get out of it, and it's hard to let that go.
Sometimes with grief, or that would be like grief or trauma, it becomes where we stay in it so for so long that it becomes our comfort zone.
Part of us, yeah.
And it becomes a space. And, you know, you'll know at home, if you know anyone that's always talking about what's going wrong in their life, that's always like, always focusing on the negative.
Right.
Negative things happen to them because that's what they attract. Right. So, and this is just a little sidebar, you know, and I would invite anyone listening to this to do their own research as well. But there's like actual, you know how people say, oh, operate at a high frequency and I'm elevate my frequency.
Is that?
Right. But there's actual frequencies, like numbers attached to these frequencies. I believe it's like 435 is like a high frequency, and then you and low frequencies, and they're all attached to like sounds. I would look up binaural beats. I would look up and then they're also associated with our chakras. Right. Now I say all this to say that when you're operating at a frequency, for example, like a radio station, right? Radio stations are each operate at different frequencies. So when you do like, what's Power 106?
Power 106, yeah.
When you do Power 106, all you're listening is to Power 106. That's the only thing you're listening to. When you're listening to 89.9, whatever that is, that's all you're listening to, right? So when you operate from that space in your, like humans, we're all energy too. If we operate from a place of gratitude, love, and happiness, that's all you're going to see. Because that's the dial, that's the frequency that you're on. But if you're operating from that like 100 something, that lower frequency, which is if you also look into your chakras, the lowest frequencies are associated with your primal need, which is safety, security, instincts. Yeah. So if you're operating from that frequency, again, that's all you're going to hear, that's all you're going to see. And trust me, you could doubt me all you want. I don't care. Research it, look it up yourself, and I promise you,
you heard it here. Dr. Martinez right here. Dr. Martinez just diagnosed all of y'all. Get on the right frequency.
Yes, fix your frequency. I promise y'all. Like,
yeah. So I 100% agree with that. But the example that I gave, like those are just a few of the things. So we're gonna take you through a few.
Yes.
And the first one is one of my favorites, and what kind of spawned this idea is jealousy. And the question that I have to all of you guys is there such thing as healthy jealousy? Right. So let's first put that in the comments. What do you think? Is there such thing as healthy jealousy? Then to you, Kai. Jealousy. Have you dealt with jealousy? Would you say you're jealous? Like, what is your run with jealousy?
In the past I have been.
Are you a mean jealous? Or are you like an insecure jealous?
I've been an insecure jealous. Well, it depends. I think in when it comes to relationships and like being in my partner, I have been an insecure jealous person. Because that I was just not fully in love with myself. Right.
Which is usually the case.
Right. In the past couple of years, I'd say there's been a great turnaround with me in that. And it's so liberating for me not to feel jealous in that way of other women. Because I've never been jealous of other women. It's more so when it comes to like my partner, him wanting the other women.
But that's jealous of other women.
No, but them taking him away.
Right.
Which then would make me look at the woman like, well, what does she have that I don't have? Right. But it's not like I, go out into the world and I look at women and I'm like, oh, what does she have that I don't have? Right. It would always be attached to my partner. Right. Right. Which then goes back to an insecurity in me.
But that's jealousy. Like you're kind of in a relationship sense, you're jealous of anything taking that attention away from you.
Well, what I'll say too to that, and this kind of is like a little sidebar to that, is the idea of jealousy versus envy, right? So a lot of people think they're interchangeable, and I was looking this up, and in a lot of cases they are. Yeah. But when I looked at definition of jealousy, it says that the fear of something being taken away from you. Right. Meaning that there's a possessive thing. So in relationships, like in romantic relationships, there's the fear that my man will be taken away from me. Right. As opposed to envy would be wanting what someone else has. Yeah. So I think that I'm not envious of other women, but I've been inspired by women. But I think when it comes to my partner, I've had that word.
Jealousy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't say I'm a jealous person, but I have dealt with jealousy. Like I mean, obviously in any relationship, you just feel like you're going to lose what you have. So
you being jealous.
yes.
Okay.
And so I've just found that I kind of went into myself more than anything, and like I just feel like I was being weak, right? And I was able to kind of just build a little strength in myself to not be jealous. But the reason I even kind of had this question about healthy jealousy is because I did use that to kind of motivate myself of like, what are you jealous about? Like, do you feel like this girl is going to like when you look at this other girl or other guy and you say, what does he have that I don't have?
Right.
Okay, we'll get that.
Right.
Right.
That's a fact.
And so that's kind of how I used it as almost a healthy jealousy. And that's why I posed the question to you and to the show. Like, is that a real thing? Like, is that wrong for me to do that? Or do you think if it works, it works?
Well, I think that it can be, if you use it for that, the power of it for that to initiate a change in yourself. Like, oh, okay. Like what you said, you look at another guy and you're like, all right, my girl's looking at him. Yeah. What does he have?
My girl ain't never look at him. I'm just saying that was in my head though.
What does he have that I don't have? Or maybe you just feel like there's this guy coming around and you're like,
right,
this guy. And then just like, you know what? He's got this, and that. Well, let me just get that.
Right. And I usually just size them up. Like, I think it's a part of sizing people up.
Do men size each other up?
Of course. That's what happens mostly. I think everyone does. But that's why I say if you don't admit to being jealous at some point or having any jealousy, then I think you're lying. Like, because it happens naturally. Like even in friendships or just with people. Like if you see somebody just, doing something that you wanted to do, it's kind of like
But is that envy or is that jealousy?
I think
because remember, according to my definition, right? I said jealousy is the fear that something will be taken away from you, whereas envy is wanting what someone else has.
Yeah, but it almost feels like, because this is the crabs in the barrel mentality. Is like one person's success is almost your failure. So when I think of jealousy, I think of like I'm jealous, and I think
because I want what you have,
and that's what I'm saying. I think it does go to an envy. But it's jealous because I want to feel what you're feeling. So I guess it is envy. I don't know.
Envy,
yeah. So I guess that would be more.
Whereas again, going back to the romantic relationship, it's like I have my partner. I'm jealous because I don't want you to take that person away from me. Got it.
Okay, I see the difference. I see where you're going. Yeah, you still got to chime in.
Nah, Meek. Might meet Kai.
Wow.
Kai said
turn off this mic immediately. Don't you ever disrespect Kai by calling her.
Right here on the buttons, her name is still here. So
wait, where's the buzzer? You got buzzer.
Shout out,
Kai, I agree with you wholeheartedly because it all comes into factoring in another person. Say your relationship partner and or your best friend.
Right.
When they start hanging out with a different person, you're like, no, you still me. Like that's still me right there. Right. So you can become jealous in those certain situations. It all comes down to involving other people. However, if you want something that someone else has, like literally that thing for yourself, that's envy.
Okay.
And that can be healthy.
I've only,
right?
envied someone. I've never been jealous of anyone. I've only envied them because they had certain things, and I know that I want to get to that point of having it as well.
True.
So I'm kind of like looking at them more, not only just as envy, but also as a tool to get me further, push me more.
That's and that's a motivator, and that could be. I think in that space it can be a motivator, and also thinking about what Almost said about. That's another way of being jealous. Like if my friend almost said,
best friend.
If my best friend, and we've both had these moments, where we'll be hanging out with someone new, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I went like hiking with this person, and be like, oh yeah, that's cool. And there's immediately this thought of like, I don't want you to take my best friend away. Get out of here. I'm jealous of y'all. Get out of here.
And I think it's a natural feeling, right?
Yes.
But I think that's why it's important to talk about, because I think we all feel it, but then you have to mentally go in your head and say, listen, stop.
Right.
Listen, I understand. I'm just trying to figure it out. You can't just live in that moment of jealousy, and not everybody knows that.
Okay, I have a question for the guys, and I can answer for the female.
Okay.
In a friendship or relationship or any sort of dynamic,
right.
knowing that your best friend is a little jealous, Or knowing that your girl's a little jealous. Does that make you feel
yes,
good?
of course it does. Listen, Anna's jealous of everybody. I'll be happy every day.
But to a degree, to a degree, it makes you feel like that person still cares,
right?
Like,
that's why.
Like
I
if your best friend was like, "Yo, bro, like I saw you over there on the court with like this guy."
I do that. Like, don't even trip about it.
I do that. I do that to my friends sometimes. Like I'll see it. I'll see them like in a photo that somebody clearly took, and I'm like, "Who took the picture? Who you hanging out with?"
Right.
I'll be teasing.
Instead of like respectfully, I tell my best friend, I'll be like, toxicfully. Toxically, get out of there. Who took that picture?
Who took that picture?
Why
who
you there?
Who you with? Like so. But I definitely think it helps. But like speaking of my relationship, like Anna's obviously jealous, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
obviously,
yeah, obviously. I mean, look at me. Come on. Don't put the camera on Kai. She's making a face. Anyway,
the camera on me. I hope the camera's on me.
But what I want to point out is that, like, if you're dating someone that's jealous, I want to kind of discuss that and like, I obviously, if I wasn't the man that I am, I think she would probably drive me more crazy. But I know that I put her first in every situation, and any decision I make, I think of her first, right? Mm-hmm. And that's not to say that she's going to tell me what to do, but that's to think of, I know I'm going to have to talk to her about it. Let's go ahead and preemptively think about what she may think, right? And I do that because I need to make sure I know where I stand. Like, say if she objects, right?
Right.
I can't let her control me with her jealousy, but I do have to listen to her, right? So if I got an opportunity to do a porno, right, to direct and shoot a porno.
Sorry, I'm only a camera. Yeah, you all
so like I would have to talk to her about it.
Yeah.
Right. And like if it was the right opportunity, I have to be prepared to say, sorry, you're gonna have to be mad or respect her opinion. So the point is being confident enough to not allow a jealous person to control you, right?
And I'm gonna do the face for you, girl.
Right? I'm not doing no pornos, baby. But if I do, we're gonna talk about it. So, but it's just like, but you have to be able to put your foot down and say, listen, I hear you, and try to make them feel better. But you're not gonna control where I go.
Yeah. So when does a jealousy become? Because like for example, like I said, I used to be jealous. I'm not jealous anymore.
She's still jealous.
I think
you don't act on it no more.
I see everything.
Right.
I see everything, but as soon as like a negative thought comes in my head, or like a thought like that, a jealous thought of like, who's this chick? Another thought comes in. This like I really worked on this, where it's like, bitch, they ain't you,
right?
So you could be whoever, but you're not me though, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, so you could talk to that girl, have fun. I hope she like strokes your ego. I hope you enjoy that. Cute, boom. But at the end of the day, they not.
When is it actually a red flag? Like
when what?
Like when it's not jealousy, when it's really like you see a chick that's doing too much. Or you seeing him doing too much?
I'm looking at him. I'm looking at how you're gonna react.
I guess let me pose it differently. So obviously, I think you should try to control your jealousy, but sometimes you see things that you need to pay attention to, right? Yeah. Or things that are kind of like, right? You can't always just be like, oh, I'm just being jealous. Stop it. Like sometimes you got to pay attention.
Yeah,
so,
I watch,
right? And I think there's a thin line, and I think the happy place to be observant.
Yes.
But realize that you can't control someone else's actions. So regardless of how you feel or what you do, they're going to do what they want to do. They're going to act how they're going to act. So you can't like be jealous and affect it, right? Like, but you can pay attention.
Yeah, it's very simple. At the end of the day, right. No, see, you see like the women and you see and I know men and women, they try it. Women try it too.
Not as much though. We safe. That's such a man a male conversation because men hit on y'all all the time. Women don't really just approach us like, yo, so listen, I'm trying to get that.
Anna knows.
Right?
Nick knows.
Right. No, y'all don't. We don't get hit on like that. Yes. Like almost.
My mom knows.
When's the last time a girl just said, let me get that?
She's not gonna say that
like
though.
Once in life.
She's not gonna say that though. She's gonna like.
Yeah. We can say no to that.
Like,
but
no,
that is completely
women are
different.
sneaky. Women are sneaky.
They are, and we are not dumb. we could play dumb, but men literally come to y'all, look y'all in y'all eye, and say, "Listen, I could do it better than he can, and I got more money." And like, blah,
right,
blah,
and
blah,
that's
blah,
an
blah.
easy shutdown. I'll be like, all right.
It's not like because it's more pressure. It's more like you really have to be able to say no. Like we could just kind of play it off and move. Like you guys have to literally confront somebody and say no, bruh, and you too close.
Right.
Right.
JD is right. A little bit right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And like I'm
that.
not saying it doesn't happen, but you guys are always so preemptively like scared of some girl tricking us into liking them. And it's like, I know what she's doing. Like I see her flirting. I kind of like it. Like,
and again, that's why for me, I've learned to just look at the guy. I'm looking at how he's handling it. I'm looking at him. She could do whatever.
Right. That's a good
at
point.
the end of the day, it's like
look at me, baby.
However he
Watch
handles
what I do, baby.
it is what's really going on. And vice versa.
You know, when I'm with a female, whatever, and a guy's trying to get her attention, I'm looking at how she
is saying things, and he's agreeing with Kai.
I mean, pretty much.
I'm just saying, you ain't got no mic. I'm just.
It's also
I'm on the mic.
No,
because on the same token, for me, I am very friendly, and I am very like, hey, and I love everybody, and whether I'm in a relationship or not, I'm pretty the same.
Yeah, but you move different. Like, I mean, like, I think you got to know who you're with first off, because I'm a lot like you, right? But I also, just from seeing you, I know that you have certain boundaries.
Yes.
Right, and so it's easy to trust you because you know how to set boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people who kind of walk that line. I do the same thing as you. I set boundaries, but I'm also a man, and I also kind of mix in my own little like, "Ooh, you look nice." Like, so it may seem like I'm flirting.
Yeah, I mean, I do that too.
But yeah,
I'll be like, "Oh, you look nice today," or whatever.
I guess,
and I can keep.
I've been fighting it my whole life, so I've tried to figure out a way to describe. Like, I like people. I do the same thing to a guy, and so like I think you have to watch your partner as long as they stay consistent. And
get to know them,
right? And get to know them. Go back to Kai's point. Don't have sex for a year until you get to know them and understand everything about their life. So, but yeah. So anyway, jealousy is a huge one. I think we beat that one to death. Anything else to add on jealousy? I have another sneaky one.
Yes. What?
Lust.
Oh.
How do you control?
Come on, 7 deadly sins.
How do you control?
That's what it should be called.
Yeah, right. 7 deadly sins. Like, how do you control your lust? Because it's a hard one because, especially for men. Listen, it's hard out here in these streets. Listen, y'all don't wear clothes sometimes, and it's just
right. It's sundress season.
Like, I've gotten to the point where I
jumpsuit season. Everyone's looking like a wrestler now.
Mad at women now. I go out and I'm like, why, like. Why? Like I can't have that, but why is it there? Like, and I feel like I'm being attacked.
It's not for you.
Exactly, but you have to have the idea.
99% of what women wear is for themselves and for other women.
Boo! That is not the case.
Yes.
Let me tell you why. If you wore that outfit that you have on right now, and everybody that saw you said,
I wouldn't care.
Would you wear it again though?
Nope.
Probably yes.
Wow, yes. I doubt it.
Like listen, and this ain't to like toot my own horn, nothing, because I believe this is for every woman.
I'm every woman. It's all in me.
Okay. Baby. As women, you get catcalled whether you're wearing a sundress and a whole full outfit or whether you're wearing sweats going to the grocery store.
We're not arguing that.
You get I've been hit on in every type of scenario.
Facts.
Wherein I'm saying that it doesn't matter what I wear.
It doesn't, but the point is that you wear shit for us. Like you wear it for everybody. You wear it to look good.
Now, if my homegirl said, "Kai, that's not the outfit," I would then be like, "Dang, my homegirls didn't like the outfit." The outfit. Guys are not looking at what I'm wearing.
But whatever you wear,
she says is we dress for ourselves and other women.
Because that's what all women want to say.
Yes, thank you, Carrie.
Stop it.
What up, Dan?
Listen,
shout out,
like
Dan.
Everybody, male or female, I don't care who you are. You wear things because you want to look good. You want to feel good.
Well,
and a part of that is attention that you get. It's the way people look at you. It's the way you feel in it. So yes, you are wearing it for yourself, but you're also wearing it to look good for other people. And and you feel like you look good because of what other people give to you.
I will say yes, and I feel like when I'm like gonna go on a date or something, then it's intentionally I want to look good for my partner.
That's a little different because like but you are trying to wow them. Obviously,
it's like, okay, have y'all seen, for example, you guys? I'm gonna ask you guys. Do y'all care about women lashes?
Yeah.
You do
care?
Yeah,
I like the lashes.
I don't like them.
You don't like them.
I don't like it when they're. I don't like
extra. Yeah, it's like when they're too extra. It's like
I don't like that.
The bat wings.
Yeah.
Going around lately.
Like, because I think it accentuates the eye, and but do
you care about makeup?
Yeah, to a degree.
Yeah, I think it's so sexy to see a girl just natural in some gym clothes, like. And beautiful, like I love that.
Right,
but I
and
also
then to know
love
that she
it when
can
you
dress
bow.
up. Yeah, when you dress up and you this and you that, that's cute.
So,
but essentially, y'all are kind of like,
listen, ain't none of y'all walking outside in holy draws and like holy pants because you know what looks good on your body,
right?
And the reason you know
feel good, we want to feel good and we want to look good, and we want to accentuate
the
parts of our body.
So you want compliments? No, I'm not. No, let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
Do you like compliments?
It can be overwhelming and I was it can be overwhelming when
I'm too sexy.
No.
I get
and
so
I'm
many
sure
compliments.
women out there can relate. My ladies out there can relate. If you have, big up here, I'm not so big up here. But if you're big up there and you have a lot of cleavage and you know you're gonna wear an outfit that's gonna show your cleavage, you already know what to expect. There's gonna be a lot of men looking at you. There's gonna be a lot of this and that, that. So that's overwhelming. You have to like brace yourself for that. I have a bigger booty. Okay. Then I do have boobs.
Like some people don't know. Why don't you show them?
No. Check my Instagram at Kai_Martinez.
That was a good plug. Drop that.
But anyways, so I have, and so I know when I wear like tight jeans or something that's going to accentuate that part of my body, I know I'm going to get comments. I know. So I have to actually brace myself.
All I'm saying is you always know. You always know. Every time you put something on, and you can sit here with the whole, I wear it for me.
Yeah, you're going to get those. But I'm saying, at the same time.
Good on you because of what most women say, they care more about what another woman would say. But you got a compliment from another woman, or you were in the store and a guy said, oh, I like that dress. And like, you feel good in it.
Yeah.
So now when you put it on, you feel like, all right. But it's because of the attention that you're getting. It's because of, the response.
Yeah, but it's not for the men.
Whereas I'm not saying
men get dressed.
It's for the right man. Yes, it is.
Do men get dressed for each other or for women?
We get dressed to be fly. Like, if you put on an outfit that you feel like is going to be good, you getting dressed because you think a girl is going to look at you and like it. And I think that that's almost the same for women, but they don't like to admit it.
It's all right. Dan just said, Kai talk about them, your cup running over women.
Look. Dan is a cup runneth over a woman type.
Hey.
So he probably got a lot of words for that. But yes, those women, and those are offensive. And I'm like, why? It's just there. Like, and then I have to pretend like I don't see it. Like, I don't know. The whole point is I feel attacked.
That's what happens when men wear gray sweatpants. That's what happens to women.
Exactly. Well, we should do that more often. Like we should. I wanted to do a skit where I was like, we should just like plaster it on our thigh and wear something tight and stand in front of women and just see if they feel uncomfortable. Like I'm sure like you'll get used to it, but that's how we feel. Like I see it, but I can't say nothing.
I know.
Like I can't.
That's true. That
like
is
I can't
true.
mention.
It is like when a woman just like it's out there. Right, you're like, damn, I can't stop looking, girl.
I was in a grocery store the other day and I literally wanted to tap this lady and just say, I see the bottom of your butt cheeks.
Why?
Because I see it. Why do I need to see the bottom of your butt cheeks?
You see it.
Why? And they weren't even cute though. They were the saggy, like it was the saggy butt cheeks.
Oh
like,
no!
It was like they weren't even supposed to be showing, but they were. But it was like hanging down. Right? It got me. So, but the point is like even on a fashion statement, like why is your butt cheeks at the bottom of your butt cheeks being shown even okay? Like. What else do you think is going to happen? Like, how are we going to approach you with the butt cheeks hanging out the bottom of the shorts? Like, there's nothing but sexual things that come to mind.
Right. Well, and then you get this idea of do women, because now the way women dress is that calling for like disrespect.
Yeah.
And I was raised I was raised that it is like the way you dress is the way you're going to be treated and things like that. And then now we're in a time where it's like you can, as women, we can embrace our sexuality and we can do this and we can do that. So I kind of believe both.
Yeah, it made me think about. I laughed because one of my favorite Dave Chappelle skits. I'm just gonna give you the last part of it. Is a girl runs up to a cop, officer, help, please, and then he looks at her and says, "Just because I'm dressed this way doesn't mean I'm a cop. This is just my outfit." Right. And he was like, "We're not saying you a whore, but you do have on a whore's outfit." Right. Or a whore's uniform. Right. But it's so true. Like, and like, I don't think anybody, like, I definitely don't condone, learn how to speak to women. First of all, men. I don't condone any kind of like catcalling or any kind of disrespect. Like I've never been that person, but there is something that you want to say something. Like I want to speak on the fact that you have caught my eye. Like it's hard. It's a tough place to be. Tough, yeah. Right. And it's like, and I don't want to feel bad for that. I don't want to feel like I'm a pig or I'm just a sex-driven guy because I noticed that you're sexy. Like,
so who do we think is more lustful, men or women?
I don't know. I want to. I only want to.
In
say
the comments, who do you think lusts more, men or women?
I think it's a both because we all want sex, but men obviously are the aggressors. Yeah. Like we have to be the aggressors. That doesn't mean we're lusting all the time.
We have hands in the audience.
Yeah, we lust out. Women lust in.
What?
Like women lust to themselves and to other girls.
That's not lust though.
Them group like, chats be like lit.
For the example you just said about the print in the
gray sweatpants.
You know what I mean? Because I know,
Dan says men.
I know a woman's
traitor
or whatever, and
Carrie says men,
but they're not going to comment on it. But they will go to their friend and call their friend, and be like, "Girl."
My point is, women lust, but okay, I guess I hear what you're saying.
I think it's also a social thing.
Fuel said they lust in, meaning they lust, but they don't speak on it. They may tell a girlfriend. Yeah. Guy is more outward with it, but I think everybody has lust. There's nobody's exempt from lust. I don't think there's anybody who's more or less. I think men are depicted as to be more lustful because.
It's socially. I think that's a social construct.
Yeah, it is. And it's
almost been raising his hand for 10 minutes.
Right, and it's because of the like porn industry and like different things, and like there's a lot more things presented to us sexually because that's what sells to us. So yeah, Most, what you got?
Yeah, I think you just hit it right there at the end. Like, yeah, we are more lustful, but we're also tried more. Yeah, there's advertisements of women everywhere, and women walking around are advertising what they got.
Right. Because you know what I've been seeing lately on Instagram. Well, it's been just as the rise of like women and bikinis and stuff like that. Men and their bodies, like almost like fully naked and like just working out and all this stuff.
I'm starting to move it. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it send to the group chat. Yeah, I'm gonna call it the gray sweatpants movement. We starting the movement. We trying to make women uncomfortable. All right,
uncomfortable.
So put your joint on your thigh and get some tight pants, and let's go out.
Oh my god!
And let's just go out. Let's see how uncomfortable they get. Let's
funny.
Let's see if they go out, and then we're gonna start peeing in public too and saying it's natural. It's natural. Why are you offending? Why are you offended by me peeing? This is natural. Hint to the women that breastfeed out in public.
That's different.
It's a very natural thing. I don't think it's wrong, but I just think
buzz yourself.
I just think there's like I just think it's obviously not for our comfort. It's for you. You have to do what you have to do as a mother. I'm just saying at least give us some concern that we're there, like or. You know what I mean? We don't see boobs every day. Baby. I think it still feels like okay, like. But I'm saying feed in public, but just cover it. Like you don't just be out like. I don't know. Like, and I wouldn't protest. I'm not saying I'm against it. I just feel like
it just makes
courtesy.
You uncomfortable.
Yeah, just like a courtesy. Like so I wouldn't just whip out
and pee. If you're
pee.
breastfeeding and you see JD coming around, cover yourself. Apparently, because it makes him uncomfortable.
Oh, I heard this story. I don't know where it was, but this guy was watching a woman breastfeed, and she said they made eye contact. He watched him, and then he pulled out a camera and started taking photos. And it was legally his right. He could literally photograph her. She couldn't do anything about it.
Goodness.
And the idea was first that all right, he's an asshole for doing that.
Yeah.
But she's in a public place.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
he can photograph.
yeah.
Like, and I just thought that was a weird dynamic, but it was an interesting story. Like, what would you do? Like,
I mean, I've never been. Maybe anyone who has breastfed can talk about this. I have not ever breastfed, but for me, the idea of taking my breast out of my shirt in any sort of
say it slower.
No, I know.
No, look in the camera and say it slower.
No.
And then throw your hair over your shoulder too. And yeah.
Look, yeah, you see, he directed the porn already.
I was demonstrating that lust is everywhere.
He's gonna use this for his reel. Anna, it's on his vision board. I swear.
Look, Anna said don't start with breastfeeding, and it's only because we've had this debate before. Because she's one of those like, it's my business. Nobody tell me what to do.
That is true.
And I agree with that. But I'm just saying you still have to think about the world that we live in. Like, and you're not the only one in this world.
It goes back to that. It's like this balance that we have to, internal balance that we all have to find. I think, it's with anything. I think also remember there was a moment in time where tattoos were super taboo.
Right.
Now everybody's tatted everything.
Right.
And nobody thinks anything of people being tatted up. But back in the day, if you were tatted up, then you might not get a job, and you might not,
Right. I think I got this one because it was easy to cover, and I never got more because I was like, I don't want to be that person.
Right. You don't want to be seen a certain way and things like that. Now it's so common that everyone's tatted. So it's just like your internal thing of like how you feel, how you're comfortable with. Yeah. For example, I am comfortable dressing a certain way, but if my friend is wearing like fishnets and like a bikini and stuff, and I'm like
stickies,
right, and some pasties, I'm like, yes, girl, do it, do you? Right. And if you feel empowered in that moment, cool. But yes, that comes with also alternatives, because if you're walking at night in that outfit, it's dangerous.
It is.
As a woman,
it is, and it shouldn't be, and it definitely shouldn't be. And I think that's a sad thing. But anybody walking at night, but especially women, and it's just because you're perceived to be weaker and you could be overpowered. Yeah. So to bring this full circle, obviously we discussed lust, but mentally, how do you deal with your lust? Like, you see the dude, right, got on the gray sweatpants, right, and a tank top where you can see the little muscles and shit, the little side muscle. You see the pec. What do? You make that face.
Yeah.
All right, let's come back to Kai. Kai needs a moment. I painted the picture. It's kind of what I do. I honestly like I've gotten to the point where I'm mad. Like, I'm literally like, ugh.
Why?
But because I can't have everything.
Cool, right.
And it's like, so I go to what I really do, and I really just kind of tell myself, hey, James, everybody's not for you. And, and I have to kind of really just bring it back. And then I start thinking about Anna. Like, I literally, I think of her in the way of like, I got that at home. I think I've told her this before, but like, I'll see a girl with like, a nice butt, and I'm like, I got that at the crib. Right. Or like, and there's nothing I could think about that she wouldn't do. So I have it easy. Sorry, men, if you're not getting, if you're not getting the love that you need, and I'm not talking just sexual, but it helps. It helps with controlling that, because I respect our relationship. Right. So, but if I'm single, I'd be in there.
Just whipping it out everywhere. What are you talking about, Dan?
I think he was talking about peeing. He's talking about that's our natural thing. But I think we can't do that because it smells. So.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Right.
But what I would say, I think from my perspective is I see someone, I can appreciate who they are. Right. I can appreciate the physical beauty of a man, and like, be like, man, he's just so dreamy. Yeah, I have those like. Did you just say dreamy? Yes, like Boris Kojo.
Can we shout out dreamy? When is the last time you heard dreaming? Like, he's so dreamy.
That's the only way you can describe some guy sometimes.
I gotta watch Back to the Future again.
But anyway, so I can appreciate.
So you don't lust?
Yes. Okay. But I'm saying that you appreciate it, and then you say either if I'm with someone, well, then obviously I'm with the person for a reason. Right. And if I'm not, then it's like, well, I hope mine looks like that one day.
No, mine. So anyway, what about y'all? How do you deal with your lust? Almost. What do you do? I mean, you freshly single. We need to get a picture of Almost to flash him up on the screen right now.
How do I deal with my lust? I try to practice patience in the moment. And
that's you.
Oh, you hear that too? I thought that was just in my headphones. Something going on. Some crackling noise.
No, it's when he just turned on that mic. Anyway, get this. We run out
But
of
yeah,
time.
it comes down to self-discipline. It comes down to, yeah, I do want that, but contain yourself, you know.
Right.
But yeah, that's how you got to go about it. It's all about mental toughness at
some point. Do you
distract
yourself with something else? Do you try to think about something else?
Either that or walk away from the situation.
Yeah.
Or act on it in a sense, like try to get her number, try to, talk to her and be patient, put in the work that it takes.
What's your best line? What you gonna walk up and say?
I have no idea, bro. It's case by case. It's case by case. I don't have like a template for every single one. It's always case by case. I can give her the funny, or I can give her the smooth.
Have you ever approached a guy, like rolled up and be like, "Hey"?
No.
You gotta try it.
I haven't. I was just talking about this with somebody.
Yeah.
I was just talking about this with somebody. Like maybe I should. I don't know.
Right. But
I've never, I've talked to men that like that like a woman to be aggressive, and I've heard stories from my guy friends that they're like, yeah, this woman, she came up to me and she was just like, hey, are you single? And he was like super turned on from it, and I was like, damn. I'd just be like blinking 3 times and hoping they
get it.
I'm like, no. I'm like, please get the energy.
Right.
Like, and then when they come up to me, I was just like, and I like go away and I like ignore the person.
So is that like if you want that attention or if you don't want the attention on that story?
If I do, like I've gotten better at that, but I've always been kind of shy. I'm not a shy person in general, but if I like someone, I would just probably like laugh a little more next to them, or like they would kind of never really know. Maybe they know.
No,
do you guys know?
You're the sneaky one. Yes, we know.
Do you guys know? You guys know.
We know, but there are but for us, we have to be careful because there is a pitfall for us, which is like sometimes you're just being nice.
Right.
And it's like we gotta for the men that aren't stupid, like because there's a lot of men that be like, she want me, dog. Like, no, bro, she just smiled.
Right. She
smiled at you. That's all. But so how she smiled though, like so.
Yeah.
I think for anyone who's conscious of that, like we also need to know, like I don't know. So I think it works either way. Any guy knows that if you are flirting, like it's an open door, so you may shoot a shot. So I just think that one. Anyway, lust. Did we murder that? Anything else on lust?
Fuel? Did you have anything else on lust? For lust?
Because we got time for maybe one more I wanted to touch on.
Yes.
And I'll let you choose. Do you want to do fear or insecurities?
Insecurities. I feel like insecurity is more in line with the other topics that we've been talking about.
So mentally, how do you deal with your insecurities? If you can't like sit and just say at least 3 things that you're insecure about, then you may not be dealing with your insecurities. Because I think we all have insecurities. Like I don't like my feet, or I don't like my face, or something about it. How do you deal with that mentally? If you're in the comments, let us know what you feel about that, Kai. How do you deal with your insecurities?
Well, like I was saying earlier, I think it's a lot of like self-talk, but it's a lot of just reaffirming things every day. It's a constant. Because the world is structured right now to tell us that we're not good enough.
Right.
Like every commercial, everything we're being sold is to make us better, to enhance, to telling us subconsciously that we're not enough.
Right.
So I think it has to on the other side, it's our responsibility to ourselves to tell each other that we are enough. So I literally will say, I'm enough.
Right.
I'm enough.
Any other exercises or anything that you have to kind of because I have a statement sometimes I say, obviously just the beauty's in the eyes of the beholder. Right. So even as I get older, I feel like I'm getting more and more insecure. But like I just have to remember that I'm me.
Yeah.
And I can't change it, and who likes it will, who won't.
Right.
I can't change that.
Yeah.
Right. And so I first start there, and then I kind of have to do something that I'm good at almost. Right. Just to kind of like, all right, I'm still nice.
Right.
Like,
I still got it.
I still got something.
Right. That's big too.
Right. And so like that's what I mean. But do you have anything that you kind of do like that?
I think for me, it's like taking care of my body, working out. I'm a dancer first and foremost. So yes, that's like something I'm good at. So I'll do that to kind of make me feel like, I still got it. And
right. Working out is a good one too.
Working out, yoga, eating healthy for myself. Because what I find
that's hard. I feel worse. I feel more insecure when I eat something like I eat horribly.
When I eat like trash food or like junk food, I start to feel like it hinders on the way I feel. You know what I mean? Like if you guys have ever gone out and had like a night on the town, whatever, and you wake up the next morning, you were hungover, you ate at like 3 a.m, fried. You just feel like physically and mentally, emotionally. So I think all those are, they're all linked. You know, your mental, emotional, physical. So I think it's, for me, it's constantly affirming within myself, like looking at myself, be like, yes, I look fly, and also making myself, like we talked about, getting dressed, looking nice for myself, like looking in the mirror and being like, yes, bitch. Yes, you know, that kind of thing.
For the men out there, she's not for herself. We'd established that. Yes. Anyway, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So yeah, and I think, what about if you had to kind of like take yourself off of social media?
Yes.
I think that's another good one if you're feeling insecure about your life or things. Like sometimes it's good just to get off of social media.
That FOMO is real, and especially now that the world is back open again.
Right.
FOMO is real, and like, people are outside, people doing stuff, people at parties that you're not invited to.
Everywhere.
People are doing jobs that you're not doing, that you thought you were going to do. Envy. And it's part of your mental health to take yourself out of that. People are
read my cousin's comments because you're so good at reading comments.
So Dan says, I have to tell myself that it is a lie and no one is paying attention to that, so you shouldn't either. Amen. That's a fact. Nobody really cares. Everyone's worried about their own life. Nobody cares about you.
I think sometimes it really is. It's real, but you just have to be okay with it. Right. Like, you know, like there's just certain things that you may have, you may not like. Some people may not recognize it, but it's yours.
Dan also said, yo, Kai, that Snoop Dogg commercial you were in just came on my TV. I 19 Crimes. Snoop Dogg's a wine brand. Right. I was in a commercial.
It was a very intimate commercial too. Like, yeah, was like right there.
We was in there. We was chopping it up with Snoop Dogg. I got contact high from being in the room. Like, he literally had a guy holding his blunt. That's what all his job was.
Wow.
But yeah, that was directed by Rashidi.
Shout out Rashidi. But
I know.
Anyway, for your little accolades,
right?
So
thank you, Dad.
I know, right? We're out of time. Fuel. Are you gonna be mad if we just hit one more real quick? What you think?
Wait, well, you guys, I want to hear what they have to say.
I'm trying to hear what they got to say. Look, yeah. How do you deal with your insecurities?
I agree with you in your stance. You kind of just let it go. Right? You kind of go against your own, so to speak, natural human instincts of being jealous or having FOMO, and you deal with it. You just go, you know what? I'm sure it'll be all right, and I hope it's going to be all right.
Right.
Do you literally have that conversation with yourself?
Well, not out loud. I'm not a crazy person.
I know, but in your head.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I just try to preoccupy myself with something else. Like, all right, I got this time on my hand. Let me go do one of my hobbies.
Yeah, idle time is definitely a murderer of your mentality.
Exactly.
So, Fuel, what do you think?
My things how I deal with my insecurity sometimes, which is basically a certain like part of my body, I think about or see other people that's worse than me, and I'm okay.
Wow.
Then I'm okay. So
you're the one that
go find a bum around the city.
That's how I deal with it.
Go find a homeless guy. Wow, I'm much better off than he is.
No. I was feeling worse about my life.
No. For example.
I'm not telling you no more of my stories if I'm feeling down.
For example, I don't like my feet. Right. But then if I go to the beach and see somebody with the worst feet, I'm like, okay.
Hey, you're not that bad.
Don't do what Fuel does. Do not search for people that's worse than you. It may take a while, and that may make you more depressed because you'll be like, damn, nobody. I couldn't find nobody that's worse than I am. Shit.
Right.
My life sucks.
Right. I suck.
So all right, so I wanted to stretch the time because obviously I wanted to make sure everybody's okay with us being a few minutes over. But I did want to touch on fear because I think fear is a huge one when it comes to controlling your mind, controlling your emotions, and I don't think a lot of us realize how fearful we are. Like, you're fearful of everything. Like, I just wrote a few that you're fearful of losing someone, you're fearful of success, you're fearful of what else do I have? Of not being enough, you're fearful of failure. And there's just a lot of different things that can creep in your head as far as fear. I'll start on this one, obviously, because I keep going to you. But, you know, it's honestly like I think I've gotten to a point now from being in LA for as long as I have been failing at what I'm doing. I've just gotten comfortable with that fear. And I think you just have to face the fear enough to you get to a point where it doesn't stop you.
Right.
Right. And so I guess I would say when it comes to fear is just facing it, like, and I know that's hard to say. I mean, it's easier said than done, but like if you're afraid of spiders, go play with a spider. Like, you know what I mean? Or try to see how close you can get to the spider. Just try to face it. You know what I mean?
There's a really dope book that I would recommend everyone read. It's called The Motivation Manifesto. Mm-hmm. And it talks about fear versus freedom.
Right.
And I think what for me was been a big game changer in my life has been, where am I operating from? Right. Going back to what I said in the beginning of like frequency. So if you're operating from a place of fear, you're always like, fear is a natural instinct that we have to protect ourselves. So we're either going to fight or flight, right? That's rooted, our fears to protect us. So when we operating from that space, we're going to always be kind of on edge. We're going to be small. Our movements are, everything is small. Everything is calculated. It's tight. Right. And again, going back to, you're operating from this constricted place. Right. Whereas if you really tap into the freedom, just freedom of being able to choose everything that you do in your life, you're going to find that when it's way more open, like if you really internalize that idea of I'm free to do whatever I want, then you open yourself up to doing things that you've never done before.
Never thought. Yeah, I think it was. I gotta get better with
so
these.
Knowing
with
that
these
fear,
quotes.
so knowing that fear is good is what I'm saying. Fear is a safety mechanism that we all have. Right, yeah. However, when we operate from that place, or when we operate from a place of like resentment, where we just have this anger in us because somebody did us wrong, and we don't forgive, they say forgiveness is for us. It's not for the people. It's not for the person who did you wrong. It's for us. It's right. And once you release that resentment and you let that, because that person's going to have to live with what they did. Right. When you release that resentment and you forgive, is for yourself. So now you're free to move through life and create your new norm, to create your new life. You know what I mean?
And, but I was going to say, which is kind of along the lines what you started out with, is that it's a safety mechanism kind of in our bodies. Like fear is just that your body saying, "Ooh, uncomfortable. Ooh, don't do this," and it's not a bad thing, but it's just your mind trying to protect you. And so you kind of have to think about that and then push through it, because once you realize it's just your brain trying to stop you or trying to help you, like it's easier to just step out of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because your body's naturally going to say, because you're not comfortable doing it. If you've done it a lot, or if you're not prepared, you're going to feel fear.
Yeah.
And so sometimes preparing for it, or just kind of not being afraid to fail.
Yeah.
And that's what anything, even talking to girls, anything.
Right. And again, finding the freedom in that, and not the fear. Finding the freedom in that you get to create the life that you want to create. And it's not, you're not afraid of what can happen.
Yeah. What are you afraid of?
What am I afraid of?
I'm afraid of being eaten by something.
That's a good fear.
Right?
That is a good fear.
Literally, the only thing that I can say that I'm afraid of is being eaten by something, like having a bear just chewing on your leg, like,
like the Revenant.
And all you can do is yell, like, just get my neck, like,
right.
Like, I feel
like that could be a fear, like slow death.
Right. Well,
slow, like
I think it's the idea of seeing something chewing on me and I'm not dead, like that. So if a lion ran in this room right now, I would shit and pass out. So somebody would have to carry me, because in real life I would hope I'm a little more manly than that, but thinking about it, I'm just gonna pass out, like, because that is terrifying to me. And you know what's funny is I'm not afraid of sharks. I feel like I would be able to like move in the water. I feel like they wouldn't be able to bite me. Like I don't. It's weird. I don't know. Don't.
Because I feel like I'll be able freedom to push and there's delusion. Okay. Of which he is.
I realize that is delusional, but I feel like because the way their mouth are, like they can't get me. Right. I feel like I just gotta move. I don't know. Anyway.
Boy, you watching too much Aquaman.
Right. So anyway, that's what I'm afraid of. What are you afraid of?
Man, I think I'm trying to think. Because I'm like, there's little fears like bugs. Yeah. I am afraid of like bugs and rats and like creepy crawler things.
Okay.
But I always laugh. I always laugh at those things. I guess something like death. Like if I'm like something like deadly. I don't know.
That is not the question. We want an actual fear. Most, what are you afraid of, Most? What's a fear? We're talking just generic. These aren't just mental fears right now. These are just actual fears.
Ghosts.
I'm afraid of being homeless. Does that count?
Yeah.
Like I feel like if I wake up one day on the street,
yeah,
I'm just gonna think like, where did it all go wrong? Right? And that is a legit like, what the hell happened?
Right.
Like it's something I'm genuinely scared of.
That's funny. Like, what you got, Fuel? You're afraid?
I'm also scared of demons, if it counts.
Right.
Like a demon's just gonna pop up in a dark hallway when I'm walking.
Fuel is afraid of COVID.
Like COVID.
Just go ahead and get that get over with, man.
All right, just get it.
Just go and get that get over with. I was gonna say
the
something.
dark. Are you guys scared of the dark?
Yeah, when it's in the wrong place, like if it's a dark hallway and it's like, damn, I gotta walk all the way over there. It's not that I'm scared to go through it, but I'm definitely in my P's and Q's. Like, all right, walking through now.
I think I just thought about. So I always would have I would have the vision of the fear of getting a STD.
Oh, okay.
Right, and but I would always focus on the idea of after like if you slept with somebody that had AIDS, right?
Oh,
and then you found out you had AIDS. That moment of like, oh shit, like that moment of like, I should have just put it. Bro. I should have just. It was right there. I could have just put it on.
That's a fear too, yeah.
Right, and like just that moment of like you can't go back.
Oh,
right.
God.
Well, and you knew better in the moment.
Like
I would, did it anyways.
I would literally have that fear sometimes just to play. You play with yourself, like, ooh,
yeah,
ooh,
yeah.
Like, that would be scary. Like that would be so like that after the fact of like, damn,
yeah.
It's that
anyway.
It's that because now that you bring it up, it's that and like a life sentence, like that gavel slam life.
Yeah.
That's
oh
yeah,
my
going to like
God.
jail or something.
Like
that is intense.
Anyway, all of those. Anyway, well, not anyway. I think it's better saying anyway. It's very
so
it's dismissive. Yeah, it's very dismissive. So I'm sorry. Sorry, almost. Anyway, thank you guys for joining. We enjoy all your input. Thank you, Dan, for being in the building. I appreciate you watching us live. Nick, Anna, always here. Oh yeah, Anna. I want to just shout out Anna for always loving and supporting me and just being there. Okay. I got yelled at. Where my shout out? There's your shout out. Right. Anyway.
Right.
Anyway, thank you guys for joining. It is hot in here. Thank you guys
for joining us. Next show. We're almost done with season 2.
Can we announce? We will talk about who we're going to have? No, we're going to surprise.
No, we got to surprise you every time. Y'all got to tune in. But I promise you, it's going to be an amazing show. You will be inspired. I promise you. It's going to be an amazing guest.
Yeah.
And make sure you tell all your friends. Everybody tune in. Young, old. This is going to be an amazing story for all of you guys to watch.
Facts. We'll see y'all next week.
Y'all. Peace.
Peace out. Man.